Hi, my name is Renald Quincy Dothert, aka Chef Ray. Today we're on set. Hello and welcome to Chef Ray's Treasures of Food. I want to eat before I taste the food, so therefore there has to be color on that white plate. Simple as that. And I have a unbelievable but a beautiful story on how I arrived at this moment in time in my life by using my gift, but most important, the treasures of Chef Ray serving as my purpose. I'm gonna add our treasure. We started with chicken stock, now we were adding vegetables. I want my peaches to stay al dente, meaning tender to the tooth. Sit back and enjoy this beautiful story. Well, it all started with this logo. The recipe to life, it's all about love. And that's what I was raised on. I was born and raised in Freeport, Texas, to a family of 11. I have 5 brothers, 5 sisters. And as a child, that's all I knew was great food and love. I went to Texas A&M University. After finishing at Texas A&M University, I went to work in oil and gas for a total of 16 years. Now here's the kicker. In year 14, I decided that, you know what? I like my job, but I don't love my job. But the one thing that I knew that I loved was cooking. There's several different ways that I do them. Sometimes we boil them down. Oh boy. It makes you call on Jesus. That's so good. I was taking roughly $70,000 of my life savings and investing into culinary school. And I knew after the first semester, I was on the right path to what I call happiness and peace in my life. And that was doing what I love to do, and that is cooking. It's smooth, it's velvety, it's just like jazz. So the goal was literally to work for myself. My catering company, it grew from doing boxed lunches, 7-course meals, private dinners, to where the largest event I did was for NBA Hall of Famer Yao Ming. Moving forward, I received a call from an interior designer asking me if I would be willing to do a tasting for one of her clients. I told her no. She calls back the next day and she tells me, she said, "Chef, you really want to look at this opportunity." They didn't tell me who the family was, but I pull up to this multi-million-dollar mansion, and all of a sudden, 30 minutes later, there is Tracy McGrady standing in front of me. He had just got traded to the Rockets. So I actually had literally read up on him. I knew he was from Florida. I knew he was a country boy, and overall just a great guy. That day, I literally prepared every dessert that you could think of outside of all the protein and the vegetables. And of course, Tracy started with the desserts. After tasting my peach cobbler and banana pudding, he offered me the job. I spent 5 years as Tracy McGrady's house manager / chef. I transitioned out of the McGrady's into my restaurant and catering, where I spent 3 years, but I signed a 5-year lease. Now, when I signed the lease, my prayer was, God, give me 5 years, or if you see within those 5 years to elevate me, I will go. Unbeknownst to me, I received a call from the Houston Astros. They offered me the full executive chef job for the following season. I was being obedient to the prayer. He elevated me. I took the Astros job, I closed the restaurant, and then literally the rest is history. I spent 3 seasons with the Astros. In that 3rd season, the Houston Rockets, they phone called. I spent 4.5 seasons with the Houston Rockets, and what a ride that was. I decided mid-season during 2018 it was time for me to go, because I actually received, again, another phone call from the Houston Dynamos to be their executive chef. I became the chef of athletes. After transitioning from the Dynamos, I decided that I was going to take a full year off and literally figure out what I'm going to do with this gift. Now, one thing I do want to spend a moment on is talking about gift and purpose. I always knew I was a good cook. I had prepared a lunch for a client, and it was a basic grilled chicken breast with starch and a vegetable. This client asked me, "Chef, what did you do to this chicken?" And I thought for a moment, like, I seasoned it, I pan-seared it, finished it in the oven, pulled it out, let it cool down, I sliced it, put it on the plate. And in that moment, I thought to myself, okay, I always knew there was something totally different about me as an individual. But in that moment, I realized that I had been gifted with this enormous gift of cooking. So I always tell people that we could cook the same protein or whatever it is, same skillet, same recipe, same seasoning. But the one thing I know for sure, when I place it in front of that client, it's going to taste completely different from yours. And the reason why is because God's gifted me with the gift of cooking. I knew in a moment after I turned 50 that my gift was cooking, but my purpose was completely different. What is Chef Ray's purpose? Phone call comes July the 2nd, 2020, in the midst of COVID, along with the horrendous death of George Floyd, with racial reckoning, and networks were scrambling trying to find more brown and black faces to put on their platforms. And I went through the whole process from 0 to 100, from receiving the call, talking to production companies, to talking to network executives, as well as naming my show. But in the end, it was placed on standby. So at that moment, you know, you do a little soul searching.